Good morning to you, Sarah Visscher, as well as you have a guest that we're going to have you introduce here in just a moment, David from your team. Welcome to the Morning Zoo. And the building or where you're at is your office there. And I remember taking that tour of the offices there and such history that you have in the building that you purchased in the downtown area on South James Street. So we get to kind of look inside your office a little bit, but we want to welcome you because even though we're looking inside, we're going to be talking about outside things for spring, right?
Yes, good morning. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Thanks for being a part of it. And introduce David for us as well. And then we'll dive into some questions in regards to roofing is our topic today.
Yes, so this is Dave. He's my sales specialist, and he's who you go to with all of your questions, whether it's roofs or a home build, remodel, all of those fun things. He has many years of experience with construction, so he's
That's great.
he's my magic.
All right. Dave, is that too much pressure? Are you doing okay so far?
It's a little bit of pressure.
No, it's all right.
Yep.
Well, thanks for hanging out with us this morning. We appreciate you being a part of this. And Sarah, when we talk about roofing, that's just one element of what Visscher Construction provides. Take us through sort of the overall services or goals that Visscher Construction provides the community. Would you do that with us this morning?
Yes, of course. So we do custom home building, additions, remodels. We're getting into kitchen designs. We have our own design services, and as long as our own cabinet line and everything that goes along with it. We also have a 24/7 restoration team. So we do everything dry out, put back, and if tree falls on your roof or you have a flood or fire, pretty much everything. We have a team on standby to come tackle those chores for you. And then exteriors, full service exteriors, roofing, siding, gutters, all of that fun stuff.
Absolutely. Well, and I like the idea that you do provide so many different services for the community out there, and especially when we talk about the snow melting. We're looking at. I would assume people are starting to think, hey, you know what? We've got to improve the house. We have to think about this and that. Look up, they see those shingles starting to get a little wore down. Dave, what do you think I know I'm putting you on the spot a little bit, but what do you think the one thing that triggers people to start thinking about their roof or the outside of their house? What is that one thing that you tend to have people discuss the most about you to get the ball rolling?
Well, the number one thing I usually get homeowners that say is I have some granules showing up in my gutters. And
Okay.
that's usually the sign when they start letting go of the granules that it's time for a new shingle, unfortunately.
All right, so good information there. And for those that might not be familiar with that or what they're seeing, what does that look like? What is that? What are we looking for on that?
If you look where your gutters come out at the downspout, you'll see little granules. Either if you have a black roof, there'll be black little pile of granules at the bottom, or if it's a blue roof, they'll be bluish black.
Okay, all right.
Depending on what your roof color is.
And so they're picking up the phone and they're like, "Hey, we've got issues." But what issues do you think that they're going to have? What starts to happen in that at that time?
Well, especially this year, because we had such heavy amounts of snow throughout the winter, we've had a lot of people get ice dams. And when those ice dams build, they can separate your valleys. And that's especially the areas that I've been looking at real closely this year.
All right, good information there. Let's talk about kind of the spring roof checkup on that same line. You know, what specific signs should homeowners look for? Other than that, is there additional things that are like, hey, we're having some issues, or more importantly, we could have some issues here in the future?
Right. When you start seeing algae building up on your shingles, that's a good indication that it's lost a lot of its copper sulfide capabilities to prevent that. You'll start seeing black streaks, and that's pretty much a direct indicator that it's time for a new roof.
And a lot of the indicators, not necessarily on the inside of your home, it is truly on the outside. But if you start seeing leaking and so on and so forth, then yeah, you've got some major issues. But we can prevent a lot of that stuff by looking at these red flags on the outside of our homes. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely. Especially in the spring when you came out of a long, hard winter like this with the heavy winds that we've had. It's a great time to take a look at your roof, make sure your caps are all fastened down tight. You don't have any shingles that are lifting or missing.
All right, good information there. I was on your website the other day and I was looking at something called is it CertainTeed Landmark? What is that?
Yes, CertainTeed Landmark is the brand that we install. CertainTeed has pretty much the best warranty and the highest amount of copper sulfide in their shingles, and they just hold up so much better.
And when we, and again, we're not going to put any sort of the competitor, in the spotlight here and so on and so forth. But what is the difference when somebody says, "Oh, I'm getting a new roof and I got a great deal," and so on and so forth? Uh, why are you using this particular product versus maybe something that might be cheaper and sold from a competitor?
When I hired with Visscher, I found out that they were a certified CertainTeed representatives,
Okay.
and I decided that that was the company I wanted to work for. I've been installing CertainTeed products for 34 and a half years,
Wow.
and I've had very minimal rework to their products, and they stand behind them.
Because it's a headache to have your roof replaced, right? I mean, for a homeowner, I would assume that's pretty frustrating.
Oh, absolutely. It's a very emotionally frustrating task, especially if there's weather present.
Absolutely.
So
Um,
the shingles themselves have a 50-year product warranty, and then
Okay.
as long as we're certified, which we are, in our anybody that installs our roofs has to go through the certification. It then includes a 25-year workmanship warranty. So those are a big benefit. I'm gonna steal a quote from one of my guys the other day in our marketing team. He said, when you're a client, you're our client for life. And I think that's really how to sum up the reason to go with these CertainTeed roofs is, there's a lot of work that goes into it behind the scenes, but it pays off because we need to make sure that these shingles are installed correctly to reduce any problems in the future. And then if there are any problems, that it's covered under warranty.
Good information there. Because, some things just wear out, right, Dave? I mean, you have homes that are built, let's say, 100 years ago or 50 years ago. Where is that range in years that you're starting to see that those homes that were built this many years ago are really those homes that you're starting to concentrate on when it comes to new roof replacements? Does that kind of make sense a little bit?
Yes, you're really starting to notice a lot of the roofs needing replacement when you reach that 20-year mark. 15
Okay.
20 years is about the life expectancy of a lot of brands of shingles.
Okay. All right. So it's for those that are way past that time, it might be a good idea to do some inspection to be able to give you guys a call and look at that. Do you do sort of those inspections? Is that part of the services that you provide? What is that step for somebody that is that they look at their home and they're like, well, I don't know what to look for. I'm not sure what to do here. What's the first step for them? Do they call you, and what's that conversation like?
Yeah, usually they'll call into the office and we make an appointment to come out to the house. That way there I can physically go out and see the house and get up on the roof to make sure that we're looking at everything that is required to change the roof.
Okay. And for some out there, which I'm not a do-it-yourselfer. Okay, let's just clarify that right away. But there are people out there that will want to try to extend the life of their roof with little maintenance here and there. Can they do that? Is that possible?
Once the roof starts aging, you can't combat time. You can repair it as much as you want, but eventually it becomes too much to repair.
Okay.
versus putting a new roof on.
Absolutely. Kind of like the Band-Aid idea. I mean, it's not going to work forever, in that sense.
Yeah, you can
Um,
mandate them for a couple of years, but after that, it's time for a new one.
Absolutely. You know, there are companies out there that will say, we can replace your roof in this amount of time. And sometimes it sounds shocking, the turnaround time. But what's realistic? If somebody calls you up and says, okay, I need to get my roof replaced, and obviously it depends on the size of their home, of course, but what is that realistic time that most consumers should expect?
Typically, most of our roofs are turned in one day from the time that
Really?
we strip it to the time that we put the new shingles right back down.
And you can still guarantee quality and the service and all of that. How do you do that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we don't want to keep a roof open for multiple days. That's never a good thing.
Mhm.
So,
Especially in the springtime.
yeah, yeah, or when you're working around the weather, so obviously that factors in. Last season we had a 2-week turnaround guarantee. We're crunching numbers to try to figure out with our manpower to see what that turnaround looks like, but that would be from signing your contract, getting your date scheduled, and getting your roof installed. But we don't have anything at the moment that we're offering a guarantee, but we do guarantee that we get that
Yeah,
once we pull that roof off, it's going back on as fast as possible.
absolutely. Well, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because when you do hear that, I guess it makes sense from the homeowner's standpoint that, you don't want to take the chance that other issues can happen. I mean, nobody wants to chase any birds flying around their home. They don't want insects in their home. They don't. There's probably a lot of things that, of course, the weather, to be able to do this. Um, Walk us through that then, Dave. When you arrive and your team arrives at a home and you're going to be replacing that roof, what does that day look like?
That day usually starts out quite early in the morning for us.
Mhm.
Usually about 6:30 in the morning, we start getting loaded up to head out. And we like to start right at 8 a.m.
Okay.
Unless we're in a community that obviously can't start earlier than that. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, the first thing that we do when we get onto the site is protect the landscape.
Okay.
That's the very
Okay.
first step.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because again, we don't want it to compound, right? We don't want that homeowner to have additional issues of having somebody come out and landscape and so on and so forth after that. So it's pretty interesting to think about.
Yep.
We are in an environment where people think eco-friendly. They want something that not only will last, but can we get things that last and is okay for the environment?
Um, yes, especially in the warmer months. If it doesn't pertain to Michigan as much, but during the summer months, if you choose a lighter shingle color, it makes your heating costs go down, your
Okay.
cooling costs go down in the summer.
Okay,
Um,
that helps. Do you have that conversation with the person, or you said Michigan might be a little bit different, but can that roof truly help cost savings in those other areas?
well, have you ever walked across a parking lot and you walk by a black car or a white car, and the
Yeah.
black car gives off heat,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
white car reflects heat?
Yeah. And you have this conversation with them. You want them to be able to understand this, right, Sarah?
Absolutely. Yep. And our first and priority is just listening to what the client wants and what they need, and then that's where Dave's specialties come in. And I mean, we could sit and recommend options all day long, but we like to just make sure that we're listening to what they're wanting or needing out of our products first.
All right, good information there. All right, I always like to ask this during our segments, and that's kind of the myths and kind of busting those myths about our topics. So my question to you, Dave, is there one thing that comes up every time or regularly for you that's like, okay, the homeowner thinks this, but this is not reality. What is that one thing that comes to mind?
A lot of times I have struggles with gutters.
Okay.
I see a lot of homes without gutters and a lot of homeowners that don't understand the need for a gutter.
Okay.
And generally, after I explain to them and show them what no gutters are doing to their property, we end up putting a set of gutters on the house.
Makes sense. All right. That's super helpful. What else? What other thing comes to mind? I know I'm putting you on the spot for just a second. And Sarah, you can jump in at any time as well if you know something.
I have one that me and my husband always say is Pinterest.
Okay.
Clients come to us with their Pinterest boards, and it's like most of it isn't even code. It's not safe to build a staircase in that style, or it's not. So it's kind of a joke in the construction industry. Is we do ask for Pinterest boards so we can get ideas and stuff, but at the end of the day, Pinterest is not a reality.
No, but it could be a starting point for many. Obviously,
Yep.
that dream as they would have. All right, I'm gonna put you on the spot as we get closer to wrapping up, and we appreciate your patience this morning. Take us through one thing, Dave. We'll start with you that we didn't get a chance to highlight this morning. That's important that you want to get out to the community. Would you do that for us?
The biggest thing that I would like to tell the community is that when I come out, I'm going to be on time and I'm going to listen to what you have to say.
Okay. All right.
And offer good suggestions to bring your home back to the condition it once was.
All right. Good information there. Sarah, same question for you.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking to make sure that we're helping our community, and then we're not just signing contracts and turning our back. So it's I mean, I was born and raised here, and it means a lot to me to be able to help somebody create their dream home, or help them put on a new roof so they feel more protected, and just being a part of the community, immersed in it, and just knowing that we're all here living together, we're sharing it, and we're a team at the end of the day, and it's not just this giant competition.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you're right. There's a lot of different companies in the marketplace there, and you want to be able to have that one-on-one conversation. You want to be able to. I love the idea, Dave, that you go out, you talk with the customer, you inspect things, you want them to be proud of that new roof, but you want to be proud of being able to drive by that house and say, you know what, we did that. And I think there's a lot that goes into that. So it's very, very cool. If somebody wants to get a hold of you for that home inspection, that roof inspection, to be able to start the conversation, what's the best way to do that? Sarah, do you want to tell us about that?
Oh, yes, there are many ways.
Okay.
You can give us a call at 231-852-4734. That'll bring you to our office, and you'll talk with Jim. You may talk to Wade as well. And then we also have our website. You can send us a form on our website with a little description of what you're looking for. You can go to our Facebook page. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Very cool. And I love this idea that we're going to be connecting with you on a regular basis. And we've already talked a little bit about maybe some sneak peeks out on the scene during a job. So, Dave, we might put a GoPro on you as you're climbing on top of that roof out there. We'll see what the future holds.
Might be breaking some OSHA violations.
Yeah, we'll have to double check that, make sure. But we appreciate both of you connecting with us this morning, and it's good to hear this information, because I'm sure there's a lot of homeowners out there that are not sure what to look for, what to do next, and how to prevent them from having additional issues in the future. And I think that helps to be able to have that conversation with you this morning. So thanks to both of you for being part of that conversation. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Make sure you reach out to Visscher Construction. And of course, if you missed any of this information, you can check it out right there at the WMOM and High Country Hits Facebook page. And then also we have that QR code for the listeners there, and we'll put that up there on the screen right now. If you scan that QR code, it'll go right to the Visscher Construction website for the roofing information and to be able to review a lot of what we talked about today. So make sure you do that. It is 102.7 Mom FM and Hot Country Hits 99.9.